Hi guys, and welcome back to Archie Hamilton Racing and to another video. And as you saw from that epic intro, there is an all new, very cool car which has just been released. This is the all new Alpine A110R. R stands for Radical. I was kindly flown out to Japan to see the launch of this car. A110 itself was already good. Everyone was raving about it. Everyone I speak to in the racing community or everyday track lovers loved the car. So we're gonna look further into the details and why it's so special and how this really is an awesome bit of kit.
So first things first, Formula One driver Esteban Ocon drove out the all-new A110R. And it looked amazing straight away with the matte blue finish. And the first thing I noticed straight away was all of the aero parts. The front splitter, the side skirts, the very prominent rear wing, and also the aero on the front bonnet as well. Clearly making this a very track-focused car, which is going to be a game changer on track days which we go to. Trust me, the presence that it has, even the carbon wheels saving 12.5 kilos, the subtle things, basically make this a very, very capable track car. Then briefed on loads of different things on this car, including the fact that they worked closely with the Alpine Formula One team to help with the development of the A110R. And the moment everyone was able to get close to this car, they did. It was huge crowds around it. Let's talk a little bit about the finer details of it. So the engine in the all-new A110R remains at 300 brake horsepower. This is the same as the A110S, but you just wait for the rest of it. This is very different, and R stands for Radical. It weighs just 1,082 kilos, which is a game changer because a base model Cayman with also 300 brake horsepower like this car is 1,440 kg. That is a massive weight saving. It's 300 brake horsepower and a 1.8 litre engine, but it's enough to get to 0 to 62 in 3.9 seconds. The brakes are upgraded Brembos, and that is massive if you are on a track day. Will really make a massive difference. There's also massive improvement as well with the aero, which will make track driving much easier as well. The new bonnet has intakes and outlets to reduce the low pressure area ahead of the windscreen. As you can probably see as well, the rear window panel that replaces the rear screen also has intakes because when they removed the engine cover in the interest of lightness, the flow of cooling air had to be fixed. The rear wing also, you might notice this as well, because this is the same as before, which was optional on the A110S, but here it's mounted further back, which again is just helping the all-round downforce of the car, and those are going to give it way more downforce in general. This car has a top speed as well of 177 miles per hour. There's even more because the wheels are carbon fiber. That saves a total of 12.5 kg on the wheels, which is a massive weight saving. The engine-based sound insulation has been chucked over the side in the name of losing a few kilos. The exhaust is louder. Again, this is in the quest of lightness as well. The tailpipes are 3D printed, enabling a shape that makes cool and limits noise on the outside. Inside, it keeps the usual A110 resonator pipe that transports intake tunes live and direct to your very ears. All in all, this car is a game changer, and I cannot wait to see it on our tracks. And if you're thinking, I want a track car, I want a car which I can drive down to the shops, but also drive it to the track as well, this is your car. You need to get involved. I'm very much looking forward to it as well. The carbon seats, is also the interior, it all is very light but very track focused, as well as a great on-road driving experience as well.
Here we are, boom, we have an Alpine A110 right here, and Mr. Paul Wallace.
Welcome to Alpine.
Welcome to Alpine, the man that loves an Alpine. We're going to talk all things about this car, Paul, because you've driven one, you've lived with one, and why we are here at Scuderia Prestige is they have one for sale, and we're basically just going to talk all things about it and
compare it to the A110R.
And compare it to the A110R, because I was lucky enough to go to Japan to see it, and I wanted you to basically tell us what they're like to live with, what they are like to drive on the road, and why you think
the A110R is just as good, well, everyone's raving about it. And can you see why?
100%. The one thing that I took away from driving the Alpine in Enstone, out in the Cotswolds at their F1 centre,
Yes.
is how they go after power to weight. So as a driving experience, it just puts a smile on your face because you feel fully connected to the car. And it's not going after 800, 900 brake horsepower. It is designed to give you the biggest smile. And what I found driving it on some of the amazing country roads is it is literally that. It is just a bundle of fun. And the thing with the A110R, from what I've seen, is they've used a hell of a lot of their F1 tech.
They have.
To then throw into a road car that, imagine like hooning it to the track where you can take advantage of the aero, the braking system and the weight saving, get to the track, have even more fun and then cruise home. It will be the best of all of the worlds. And where else can you get a car that costs less than 100 grand, around 100 grand, that's designed and developed by a current F1 team that's on the grid every weekend?
And what they've done is they've developed it in their wind tunnel at Enstone to make sure the...
Mate, I got a tour of that.
Yeah, well, there you go. So they've developed it in their factory to use the F1 technology to put it into their road car. So the wind tunnel, they've taken advantage of the wind tunnel. They've put it in there. There's a massive, massive weight saving, over 30 kilos just in weight saving. Wow. You've got 12 kilos just in the wheels.
The design is mental.
The design is really, really cool. And I think that the car itself is cool, but what they've done is they've just radicalized it because the R stands for radical. Let's talk quickly about the front because the front is massively different. So this is a GT and this is still a very nice bit of kit. You have added intakes. You have different kind of things which is all around the front, which is not only weight saving, but it's also performance enhancing on the circuit, Paul Wallace.
Front splitter.
There's a front splitter on the front, which is subtle but cool, but adds to it as well. Let's go to the back of the car, and then we're going to go to the interior. The back of the car, as you can see on this GT, doesn't have a rear wing. You can actually spec a wing though, if I'm mistaken. You can spec on the S.
On the A110S,
yeah.
You can get a wing. I've driven it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Okay, and that wing now comes as standard. It's a little bit different in terms of how it's designed, but it's slightly further back or something like that. But it's there to give more aero, which is very, very cool. So they've done different weight saving, which is to do with the engine and where they've done a lot of different weight saving things inside to move things slightly, to save a few kilos here and there.
I'm assuming that's for getting traction down.
Getting traction down. If it's you driving, you need all the traction you can get, Paul Wallace. So yeah, it's 1,000 kilos. It does 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds. It does 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds, which is very, very fast, and a top speed of roughly 179 miles an hour. So you might think the top speed is not as good as you think, but when you drive it on a track, obviously driving lots of track cars, I think this is where,
I think this is a problem around the automotive world. When you said there 179 top speed, everyone goes, well, that's slow because there's cars that do 250. But before driving this, I probably would have had a very similar reaction to hearing 179. It's not that fast. But having driven it, honestly, the video that I made, I had so much fun driving them, and I really got it. And I kind of finished the video by saying, when I arrived, my expectations were pretty high because everyone that's driven them says how good they are to drive.
Everybody. I actually spoke to someone who's a racing driver yesterday, and he went, Alpine, awesome, loved it. A110R must be a machine.
Yeah, that's exactly the way that I see it because I had a lot of fun driving them. I've got very limited experience behind the wheel of Alpine, but what I do have is a real sort of appreciation for what they are trying to achieve because they're staying true to what their brand is. The A110 is obviously a legend in the rally world.
Yeah.
And now they're building an A110R that is taking advantage of all of their F1 knowledge and putting it into a road car that is already
good,
unbelievable to drive.
Yeah, Pete.
So the A110R is going to be phenomenal.
And I think, well, the interior on this is slightly different. Very nice tanned interior. I love the way that the seating is very set up for the driver focus, very focused for the sort of The experience. It's all about the experience, and they're just cool, aren't they?
The interior is one of my favourite bits. Like all of the little details. Even look at the air vents.
I know.
Like I remember when I got in Seb's car for the first time, and I was like, "This is cool."
Right. They are. Being a very retired racing driver, I've driven track cars.
Yeah.
I love driving to a track, but I also love driving home in my track car, and this is what people can get the experience of. And I think now you don't need to be worrying about, oh, are the brakes going to be worn and this. You've got the radicalised version. There we go. But thank you, Paul. I am tempted in many, many ways to buy one. Because, well, it's so different. Do you know what I mean? It's different. It's cool. I love something different where people can experience something which is well developed, well engineered, and have a lot of fun. And motoring should be fun.
This is just a project that has been built out of passion, and you can see that when you drive it. The power to weight is absolutely perfect, and I'm all for that. I like big brake horsepower cars, but actually to drive, this really changed my perception. I drove it back in March this year, had an amazing time driving them, and I actually cannot wait to drive the A110R. I would rather drive it on the road. I know it's built for the track.
Yes.
Have more fun on the road. You drive it on the track.
Deal. These are so comfortable. They're super cool. And that A110R, I wish I had the chance to drive it, but I'm going to get involved. Maybe we will see one of them coming to the garage because it's track focused. It's fun. It's cool. I get it. I fully get it. And yeah. An amazing bit of kit which they've developed, and I cannot wait to see not only them on the British roads, to see people hooning them around track days. Everyone I talk to raves about them and just says what a great experience it is. And they've developed something here which is special but also fun at the same time. So the moment we can get our hands on one in the UK, I'm going to take it straight to a track day, feel its performance, and just push it to the limit. So anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this video, guys. Lots more coming up. Hit that subscribe button. Check out everything in the description. So make sure, guys, you are subscribed. Comments down below to what you think. Should I get one? Because I'm very tempted. I'll see you all very soon.